Okay. Hello! Hello. It is I, SpoonyNin. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another edition of Vampire Therapist, where the undead need therapy. And I need therapy. Everybody needs therapy. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's having a fun time. I'm having a fun time. It's hot. It's fucking hot. It's really bloody hot. It's so hot. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's just really, really fucking hot. Which means, because I've scored in the first minute or so, probably means I'm not going to get monetized. Not that I get monetized on YouTube anyway. Doesn't matter. Ha 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 ha. So there. Also, I can just see myself on screen and it's really, really weird. So I just like to check how everyone's doing. Actually, you know what I should do? I should log in into Stream Elements. That's what I should do. Dashboard. There we go. Awesome sauce. Not that that really does anything, but it might do something. Who knows? So, yes, exciting times. I think I've managed to get the music to work, which is exciting. Awesome. I've had a little fiddly diddly widdly widdly woo woo on OBS, so hopefully things look a little bit better, a little bit more how they used to be. Still getting to grips with it, but you know. Slowly catchy monkey, as they say, or whatever. Yeah. So it's just weird. It's just weird. I think it doesn't help that also, not that it really sort of needs to know this, and this is probably overshare. But for those of us who menstruate, it's coming to that point in time, and my brain is like, bah. And also, it's been really hot in Cambridge today. It was like 27, 28 degrees, which again, for normal human beings everywhere in the world, that's not necessarily a problem. But the problem is it's incredibly humid and horrible as well. And there is going to be a big thunderstorm later. It's going to be huge. It's going to be ginormous, is what it's going to be. It's going to be absolutely freaking ginormous. Oh, actually, you know what? That's a really good way of doing that. You know what? I quite like that. Sorry, I'm still piddling around in OBS so I can actually see chat, comment, do things, tickle my bum. Not that I'm actually tickling my bum, but, you know, just in case. You never know. So yeah, we're going to continue on with Vampire Therapist. I'm trying to remember where we left off last week. I think that's right. So we had our second session with Dr. Drain, which then turned into a session with Lord Luridius, or basically it's Luridus. So Dr. Drain is now a Jekyll and Hyde character. So we now got an extra client, which is, you know, nice. We had our second therapy session with the Countess, not the Countess. That would be interesting. Lady Gaga turning up. We had our second session with Isabella. Did it? I didn't take Italian at school. You can probably tell. So we've got her. And then I think we're about to have a therapy session with I don't know, can you hear it? Can you not hear it? Who knows? Let me know about the sound, because I don't pigging know. Quite frankly, I don't know. All I can do is you tell me what's what, and then I'll try and fix it the best that I can. Yeah, so I think we've got the second appointment with the actor Eddie who is a gaslighting aficionado. And I have to admit, when we were doing the scenario last week, and I was like, oh my god, oh no, oh what have I done to piss him off, oh shit, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was like, Andy was like, he's a gaslighting master, look, everything's on fire. I'm like, oh wait, this is what people do to me. Fuck. Okay. Wonderful. Awesome. I love it. It's nice seeing stuff that happens in your life turn into that. How amazing is that? There we go. And I've kind of gone for a slightly muted vampire look today. Namely because I really just couldn't be fucked. Which is terrible. I should be fucked. I should be slapping on makeup like left, right and centre, but I just honestly couldn't be arsed. So you just get this. Also, it's too bloody hot to be slapping on makeup. Especially if I'm only going to be doing it for like 2 hours and then I'm going to have to like pull it all off again. Which I know if you're a professional actor on the stage, that's what you'd be doing. But I'm just a pissant on the... Oh, evening, Doom Hippie! Sorry! Oh, I was having a proper rant. I apologise. How's the... I have to... Okay, Doom Hippie, you are my guinea pig now. You have stepped into my lair. You are now acting as a guinea pig. How is the sound? Is it terrible? Awful? Okay? Does it need tweaking? Is the music too loud? If there's any music... I know it's just lol, but I agree with the makeup comment. Yeah, it's too... Oh, the music is drowning you out. Okay, whomp. How about that? Is that better? Can't hear it now. Okay. How about that? Is that better? I will get these levels right. Yeah. Very quiet. Okay. As in, I'm very quiet or the music is very quiet? Sorry, Doom Hippie, you've become the guinea pig. You've become the OBS guinea pig. That's a good level. Okay, cool. 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 Well, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to switch over to the game anyway. And then I'm going to ask you the same fucking questions. So... Well, that is true. That is true. You did say you did help, so... Or you would help, so, you know. You've only got yourself to blame. No, I'm joking. I appreciate all the help. So thank you very much. Oh my god. Okay, right. Yeah, it's far too hot to be slapping on makeup. But anyway. Right, let's go to the wonderful world of Vampire Therapist. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause on that. So now there's no music, but that's okay. That's awesome. And then I'm going to slide this button over, like so. Haha. And then hopefully, if I press that, the music... Okay, so I might have to turn down the music a smidge, maybe. Okay, no, that's a bit too... Okay. Let me know what the music sounds like. That works. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me just... Yeah, that's better. That's better. Awesome, I think. Well, let me know if it all goes tits up, because then I can try and fix it. As you can see, I've added more spoons, because Everything needs spoons. Everything needs more spoons. The follower goal needs spoons. The chat needs spoons. We just have to have spoons everywhere. You know? If you haven't got a spoon in your life, then what is the point? That's why we all know that's why the dwarves in Skyrim died out, because they didn't have spoons. They had all kinds of mechanical knowledge, but they didn't have fucking spoons, so... I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Just saying. Also, I've kind of moved myself into the middle now, because I realised I was cutting off Sam's delicious head. And nobody wants to cut off a vampire's head. Not in this day and age. That's just crazy talk. Anyway, let me put on the earphones of loveliness. Oh. Yeah, because to be honest, I just want Sam to get head, not to have his head cut off. So, let us continue. Right, where did I save last? I believe... the last song in my set last night was Diggy Siggy Hole. Oh, Diggy Diggy Hole. Ooh. Diggy Diggy Hole, Diggy Diggy Hole, Diggy 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 Hole, Diggy Diggy Hole, Diggy Diggy Hole, Diggy 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 Hole. I don't know why I'm singing it like that, but it makes me happy. So that was 20. Oh right, that's what I played. 22. Okay. Yes. Oh, I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. That makes more sense. Okay, I believe this is where we left off. Because then I realised I had loads of, like, save... I have so many... You have 99 save slots? Holy shit, that's a lot. Okay, anyway. Let's do it, baby. I think this is the right one. When you try to be... you condense all your save slots because you think, oh no, if I have too many save slots, it'll be too much. Greetings, Samuel. I believe you are seeing our actor friend, are you not?
Samuel, greetings. I believe you are seeing our actor friend tonight, are you not?
Bitch! I just said that.
Yeah, I guess so. I still ain't sure I'm the right therapist for that fella.
There may not be a right therapist for him, but let us think positively. He has put himself in your care, and that is a tremendous step.
Voice is so... Oh, I want this man to read me bedtime stories. I don't have a type. Shut up. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm thinking it's gonna be an uphill battle, though.
High five!
At least this chord distortion is clear, don't you think? You know what it is, I am sure.
Oh... Oh god, okay, I can't remember. Right, let's have a look. He demands respect as the greatest actor the world has ever seen. Oh, hello! Self-centered mindset. Believes he determines what acting must be. Diminishes the thoughts and opinions of others. Champion gaslighter. Tried to convince me I was attacking him. Sees the world through theatre. Next time, I'd like to dig... all this comes from why this fella is so insecure. Okay. Okay.
It's personalization, right?
Of course, a distortion common to many with narcissistic tendencies.
Wow, I had to really think about this. Like, fuck, which one is it?
Yep, it's the Edmund Keane show, all day, every day.
I recognize your disdain, but pause a moment. It must be difficult for Edmund to make everything all about him all the time, don't you think?
He doesn't have to make everything about him, though.
He doesn't know that. Keep digging, Samuel. You will find his truth.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna punt a guess here. So, because this happened in the first session, so every time he started to try and gaslight you, Sam would use this technique to like treat him like a horse and calm him down, and he kept sort of saying, "You're not gonna hurt me. You want to be my friend? You're my friend." So obviously there is some. I mean, I would put money on that this guy is suffering trauma from someone else, and the only way that he's managed to cope is to somehow put it all onto himself. And anytime anyone, criticizes him for anything, or maybe sort of suggests that his way of thinking isn't necessarily the best way, hence why he doesn't like critics, is to become incredibly defensive, because it's triggering something that has happened to him before, but in a much worse, much more personal setting. Not necessarily about his work, but just some. I am going to put money on that. Of course, it could just be something completely stupid, like a squirrel bit his toe or something. I don't know. But I would suggest that it is some latent trauma, possibly parental. That's usually the way. Over-criticising, overbearing parents. And then you just start gaslighting other people because it's a way of controlling your world and keeping you safe. I would say that's a guess. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong, but we're gonna find out.
Choose your distortions well.
Okay, so he is definitely emotional reasoning. Labeling, hell yeah. Disqualifying the positive. Actually, no, I'd say should statements. And I'd say control fallacy. So this is a really interesting thing, is that you get to choose your weapons, if you will, against your opponent. Not that they're an opponent, but how I have to admit, I'm just sat there going, I think it's this, but then again, that's what Save Scumming's all about. Which actually reminds me, let's save Scum, shall we? Save Scumming across the universe, making sure that you don't fuck up.
I'm all holstered up now.
Too much, or it's worse.
Very good, Samuel. I wish you patience and compassion. Good luck.
See you later, Andy. All right, now what did Andy teach me? Breathe. I think I'm ready. Right on time. I think I hear him coming.
But
Hey, Edmund, good to see you. How you been feeling these past few weeks?
Empty, my dear boy. Empty. I am but a vessel made for a single purpose. But alas, and alack, that purpose is in supply most rare.
uh-huh.
You mean acting, right?
Aye, that's the rub. Acting, my dear boy. Acting. My thespian blood goes rancid with stagnation, and the only cure seems to me irreprehensible now.
Wow,
I
okay.
do not wish to face these mortal directors, for they dare to tell me my art.
Yeah.
Ain't that what directors are supposed to do?
Oh, my dear boy. Some are born great, some achieve greatness. Others have greatness thrust upon them.
Only with consent.
No director can thrust greatness upon the already great. In mine own case, mine greatness hath already been achieved.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Well, maybe you can help me understand a little better. You said that greatness was thrust upon you, right? How did that happen?
Right, actually, just gonna... Ooh, I'm gonna do something really bad here. I'm contaminating Pepsi with Coca-Cola. I could turn into a bloodthirsty fiend. Or bloodthirsty fiend. Trying to talk with fangs is really, really difficult. I just want you to know, it's very, very difficult.
Ah, you are curious to hear what circumstances created this actor non-pare. I cannot blame you. Well, recounting such a history will please me indeed. I first rattled the foundations of the stage as a mere babe. Indeed, too young for memory, and yet old enough to command attention.
Is this guy gonna be is he basically BoJack Horseman? Is this what I'm getting? Is he potentially BoJack Horseman? But then BoJack did actually take direction. He didn't... I mean, I don't think anyone really likes critics, but...
Clad only in swaddling cloth at the age of 4, I was Cupid himself. But my arrows seemingly went astray, but the entirety of the audience fell in love with me. It is the stuff of legend. For tender as my mind was, I could not bear witness to my own greatness. But it does prove that I was indeed born great.
Uh-huh.
But you said greatness was thrust upon you.
Oh, wow, okay. BoJack Horseman is, I would say take it season at a time and take a break, watch some fluffy kittens, horse videos, Astarion, Gale videos, whatever it is you need to, like, have a decompress, because it is a masterful series. It is a wonderful, it's funny, it's witty, but fuck me sideways, it goes into dark places. Yeah, I mean, again, it's an amazing piece of work. I highly recommend BoJack Horseman, but yeah, you are gonna need breathers. I did about 2 or 3 seasons in one hit because I had access to my brother's Netflix account, and holy shit, I started watching the Bake Off and just crying. I was like, I need snuggles. I need hugs and snugs. I need hugs and snugs. I want a huggy wuggy boo boo bear. But no, if you persevere, it is a really, really, really good series.
It was a matter of necessity. You may not guess it from my gentle speech, but I am no lordling. Selfishly, and surely to spite me, my father shuffled off his mortal coil when I was but a babe in arms, ere I ever graced the stage. It left my mother and myself in dire straits.
It is an impressive distortion to believe that someone has died to inconvenience you.
Selfishly.
Hold on a sec. You said your old man died selfishly. Well, what do you mean?
Well, what kind of a father drinks himself to death when he has a beautiful baby son at home? I at least waited until my son was older before I did the same.
Ooh! Ooh, okay.
Eddie, come on. Listen to yourself. I'm sure you didn't die to spite your son, just as your pa didn't die to spite you. I ain't gonna deny his choices hurt you, but they weren't all about you.
Forgive me then. 'Tis ever the fate of an actor to feel every emotion more keenly. The situation my mother and I were left in was most precarious. We were the lowest of the low, you see. We lived in the rookeries and begged for our bread. But he that hath wit must make content with his fortune's fit. And oh, did we beg. She was my Queen Gertrude, and I her filthy little Hamlet. Did I mention I played Hamlet at age 14?
No, I hadn't heard that.
Well, anyway, my mother was a competent actress, but it was my wit alone that saved us from destitution. Forsooth, I was so prodigious that, at the age of 7, I garnered the attention of one Reginald Flopbot of the Worthington Flopbots.
Reginald Flopbot of the Worthington Flopbots. Yep.
'Twas he who paid to get me off the streets and into the dormitories. He said, Edmund, my cherub, the streets are not for you. One day you will be the greatest of actors.
Eek.
How
Okay.
about that? You went and proved him right.
Piffle. Master Flopbot never gave a fig about my potential. I was a prop to him, a symbol of his generosity and high breeding. Every month, he would stage an elaborate party with all the well-to-do
Reginald
society of London.
Flopbot with the floppiest
The
of
dandy
bots.
fop would
Hey
stand up on the
Tash, how you
dais
doing,
and
buddy?
announce himself as the savior of the city's poor. That was my cue. I would be lowered down from the rooftop, wearing naught but swaddling clothes and a set of opulent wings. The gentry's delight was my dungeon. But I would flit among them, reprising my breakout role as Cupid by shooting little arrows of love at them.
Yeah, this is beginning to sound a bit Bojacky.
At the age of 7, it was most disquieting. At 11, on the cusp of manhood, the shame was too much to bear.
Dang, Eddie, that sounds awful. That Flopbot fella had no right to do that to you.
No, indeed. I remember my last performance quite vividly. The titters and leering glances from the guests linger ever in the back of my mind. And fool that I was, I played my part still. I should have plunged mine arrows into that fool Flopbot's chest instead of shaming myself.
Hold on a sec there. You saying you should have stood up for yourself. Where the heck does that come from? You were 11 years old. How the heck were you supposed to know any better?
That's true. You're 11 years old. You don't know your ass from your elbow.
I knew enough to know that being paraded around in swaddling clothes was a farce, and yet I played along. So yes, I should have done something about it.
And then what would have happened?
I don't know, but I would have been spared the indignity that I participated in.
You didn't have those answers then, and ain't nobody would expect you to. That's kind of how exploitation works, Eddie.
I too am sweating my butt cheeks off, but luckily you can't see that, for my butt cheeks are off screen. But yes, it is fucking hot. I want this storm to turn up, please. I want the weather to go a little bit cooler.
Indeed, the word exploit was not even in the standard lexicon at that point. How could I have known? Regardless, I swore that night to never be a puppet again. I stole away and gave myself to the mercy of Poseidon. The bargain was struck, and he swallowed up my hated swaddling clothes and wings. In desperation, I signed on with a mercantile shipping agency. I thought perhaps that my body would bend more than my soul. But oh, did I toil! Life upon the sea is most cruel. Biting winds did carve my visage. Low words hardened my heart, and heavy weights left me bent.
Okay.
By the time I had fulfilled my bargain with the Lord of the Sea, I had become an older man. My efforts etched into every crease on my face.
Dang, sounds intense. How long were you at this job?
An age, a life. 6 months, each one a hungry meat torn from my bleeding body.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you know, not everyone's fit for life at sea. Fuck knows I'm not.
I am convinced this gauntlet was prepared for me alone. For ne'er in history has one so blessed by grace been subjected to...
Eddie, I gotta stop you there. It's gonna be a lot easier to accept your truth when you realize you ain't alone in your suffering. Hell, there ain't nothing more human than suffering. And historically, kids ain't had it so good.
But none suffered as I suffered. A boy such as I was not meant for such misery.
Compadre, I had my first kill and no home at 12 years old. My brother had a stutter his whole life on account of the regular beatings my stepdaddy gave him. Maybe your suffering felt like the only suffering in the world, but it wasn't. And it'll hurt less when you realize you weren't alone. But keep telling me your story. I already know there ain't nobody like you in the world, so don't worry on that account.
Now then, at last, we close the circle as nature ever demands. I return to London and into the graces of my dear Uncle Moses and his comely mistress, Charlotte.
Ooh, comely mistress. To his coy mistress, I
'Twas
say.
she who filled my dramaturgical quiver with dire arrows, fletched by the bard himself. And when my deft fingers plucked the bow of humanity, at last I was free.
So she supported you.
Huh?
I cannot speak more plainly. The good woman taught me the works of Shakespeare, and armed with this knowledge, I conquered the stage and saved myself from toil.
Okay.
Oh, well, right.
And so, you see, the die was cast from the moment I was born. The stage was made for me, and it was my skill upon it that saved me from the streets and saved me once again from a life at sea.
Eddie, my man, I got some good news and bad news for you. The truth of the matter is, fate doesn't give a stable full of horse shit about you. Ain't none of us are that special. The world ain't waiting for us to show up. It's just gonna keep turning.
Perhaps you are right, my dear boy. You are correct. My success was not because of the fates, but in spite of them. The fates said, Edmund, you are a child of the slums. But I shamed the immortal hags in my own manner.
Yeah?
The stage roused my spirit. Thus I knew my destiny lay upon it.
Edmund is conflating his emotions with divinations, but I would question his...
The stage...
Edmund is conflating his emotions with divination.
The stage roused my...
You got it, amigo. You wanted the stage to be your ticket out of the bad days. Maybe that's why you were so successful. Your intrinsic motivation made you keep pushing to be better.
'Tis so. 'Tis so. The threat of the rookeries loomed ever upon my overladen spirit. Acting presented itself as a way to keep myself out of them. It is natural that I should weigh its importance so heavily.
I can see why acting means so much to you, Eddie. I probably feel damn near the same about the things that got me out of my bad days.
Thank you. Then you understand how my alienation from the theater does pain me so. And yet, the cure is as deadly as the illness. These damnable critics! Not a single lifetime among them, and they deign to challenge my interpretation of the written word.
Aha, here we go to the crux of the matter.
They simply cannot relate to my singular experience. I will bare my soul upon that stage, and they will all sneer and malign it on their internet profiles.
Well, internet critics are a bunch of arseholes at times.
I took a look at your Wikipedia entry last night, Eddie. Well, maybe you've had a few bad critics here and there, but history says you're a legend, and your work speaks for itself. Hell, you were around before film was ever a thing, and people still remember you.
Ah, your words warm me, as an heir-sat son for the one we have forsaken. With thy help shall I gird my soul, mayhap, and grace the stage once more.
Well, let's talk about that then. What's the biggest thing stopping you from getting back up on that stage right now?
That it all simply might not be worth it. Why should I bear my damned soul when the audience hath not the sight to see it?
Well, you don't know that.
Maybe I can ask you a question then. What if there were no audience?
No audience? Do you know what a stage is, sir? It is a platform where life in brief may be portrayed. It is a platform because it is separate from the audience. Without such, the stage ceases to be a stage.
As in, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound?
Simply but elegantly put, my dear boy. Without the audience, the stage loses all
If you
meaning,
fart in a
like
room,
monarch
but there's
without
no one
kingdom.
else to hear it, did it really happen?
Let's figure out how we can bring it back to acting. Forget the audience. I know we can't see in mirrors and all, but what do you think of filming yourself?
Brilliant notion. Yes. I shall become my own audience. I shall bring myself to rapture. Forsooth, if I cannot pleasure
He who
myself,
smelt it
whom
dealt
can I
it.
pleasure?
Okay, so this whole sentence right here, or this passage rather, because it's more, I guess it is at least 2 sentences, 3 sentences. Fuck me, I can read. So one, he's either going to be incredibly disappointed in himself, or he's going to actually accidentally get an OnlyFans account. I shall bring myself to rapture. Forsooth, if I cannot pleasure myself, whom can I pleasure? Well, I mean, was it RuPaul said, if you can't love yourself, how... OnlyFans, yeah. If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love someone else? Hallelujah. Alright.
We're still talking about acting, right?
Oh, my dear boy. The pleasures of the flesh are secondary to one who knows character above all else. Indeed, we speak of the noble art.
I don't know if there's vampire OnlyFans yet. I don't know if there is an actor, actress, or otherwise alive that would say acting is better than sex. I'm not quite... Or, you know, a really good vibrator. I mean... Maybe? Sometimes? But, yeah, I don't know. Any actors out there, let me know. Have you thought, oh god, you know that rabbit I've got at home? Well, that pales in comparison to this. Alice in Wonderland? Well.
I shall do as you suggest. If there is one on this lonely orb that can inspire an artist such as I, it is myself.
I expect that standing ovation might be. Well, if you get a standing ovation for that, you might want to close the curtains and also expect a visit from the police, I should imagine.
I ain't sure I'd put it exactly that way, but I think you're touching on the thing we've been talking about. The motivation's got to come from you, amigo.
We are of one mind, dear boy. Perhaps I left my muse in the mortal realm, but I shall find him once more. Not only for myself, but also for my public.
How kind of you.
Yea, the masses flock to my Wikipedia page as moths to a flame, each a silent plea for the return of the one true artisan of the stage.
Now hold your horses there, fella. You're reading a little too much into the whole Wikipedia thing. There's a million and a half reasons why people might be looking you up.
Tash, let's hope his artistic pursuits don't suck. Again, it depends if you're on OnlyFans or not, or YouBorn. Oh god, I had a really bad intrusive thought there, and I don't want to talk about it because I might get banned. I may message it later in Discord, but yeah. Why are you booing? I'm right. Well, I'm not booing. I'm merely trying not to rip open my pancreas live on stream. Hold your horses there, fella. You're reading a little too much into the whole Wikipedia thing. There's a million and a half reasons why people might be looking you up.
I mean, I hear tell the biggest Wikipedia page out there is the one for that coronavirus that got all them mortals all worked up. And I'm pretty sure they don't want that coming back.
And thus dost thou scuttle a burgeoning friendship with the cannons of enmity. Why must you challenge me so?
That's my job, compadre. Ain't we had some good breakthroughs today? We couldn't have gotten there if I'd been busy agreeing with everything you said.
Very well. But I still say you are most vexatious.
I love the word vexatious. I try and use that every day. If I can.
I've been called worse. I think we got some homework for you though, right? You're gonna film yourself and do some acting for its own sake. We'll check back in a few weeks. But Eddie, I think you're doing great. We made a lot of progress today.
Yay!
The human condition is my oeuvre. Nevertheless, you have been a competent guide. You have reminded me of what is most important in unlife. Me.
Oh my god. God damn it, dude.
I should like to give you a gift.
No.
Oh, come on. You don't need to do nothing like that.
Nonsense. It is meaningless to me, but it is beyond price for you. Signed with my autograph.
Oh, okay. Wow, this guy. Holy fuck.
Oh, thanks, Eddie.
Cherish it always. If you help me to find my muse, then it is a gift even more precious. And I will find it ere we next meet. Of that, I promise you.
Well, let's not put the pressure on, amigo. Just enjoy some acting. That's all I'm asking for. I'll see you in a few weeks then, okay?
Verily, so it shall be. Godspeed then, boy. Thou shalt witness me new and on. Farewell.
Oh, wow.
Well done, Samuel. I was particularly impressed at the way you challenged Edmund on what acting means.
Yeah, he
to him.
is basically Volo. You're not wrong. You are absolutely correct. That motherfucker is Volo. And you know how I feel about Volo.
Yeah, he's a weird fella, but I think he's gonna do okay.
It can be hard for our kind to retain our intrinsic motivation. Something must keep him going. I do hope that he will find his. But you, Samuel, must rest. The work you have done in these past 2 months deserves to be celebrated, so do not linger here in this dusty room. Perhaps you can even be encouraged to dance.
Yeah, we want to see Sam dance. We want to say Sam dance. Dance, dance, Sam. Dance, dance, Sam. Sam, Sam. Dance, dance, Sam.
I think I'm gonna need a lot more therapy myself to get to that point.
Very well, Samuel. Then let us at least make sure you get well nourished. Find a friendly neck downstairs, my friend. You deserve it. And rest in peace.
Line dancing at Goth Club to Slipknot. Now, you may think I'm crazy, but that works. You just got to know the beat. You can do it. Okay, here we go. Into the club.
Well, they say don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys, but maybe don't let them be actors either.
Only because no club would play Slipknot. Oh, they would if you asked nicely.
Well, time to dish with Crimson a little. I gotta talk to some more folks, though. Andy's mainly my teacher, so I'm starting to feel like Crimson's my only friend. Hey, only friend.
Excuse me?
What? Oh, yeah, Crimson. Hey,
Maybe
Crimson.
a bit of Robert Smith then, or the Cure. You could line dance to the Cure, couldn't you? It'd be a bit weird, but you could try.
Are you blushing, vampire?
No, that ain't possible.
It's all right. It's nice to hear from a vampire who's younger than Jesus.
I'd like to. Well, I'd pay money to see it. Yeah.
Now, let's hear how this week went before you go out there and find friend number 2.
All right, real quick. This client of mine, he had a real bad time as a kid. Well, worse than I did, it sounds like. But he found fame early, and now he's talking about fate and how he's destined for greatness again.
Met plenty of destined for greatness folk in D.C. I lost patience for it. How do you think you handled him?
Pretty
I learned
well.
the lessons from the last session. He didn't threaten to jump off a cliff this time or anything. I gave him an assignment to film himself doing something he loves doing. He seemed excited about that.
Okay. Crimson's gonna say something filthy. I know it.
You're either brave or adorable, Sam Walls.
There's nothing brave about it. As for adorable, well, some have used words to that effect before.
He is a cinnamon roll, and I love this man dearly.
Okay, now I know you're confident.
Yeah,
enough to get
something
out
he
there.
loves.
Giddy up.
Edmund really would be the kind of guy that has a mirror on top of his bed, right? Like, when he was mortal and he could actually see himself in a mirror. Yeah, exactly. He would be. Unless he, like, covers himself in paint and then has a bit of a Thomas the Tank. Same break, exactly. There you go. Yes, we are from the same cloth. Filth. Absolute filth.
Here we go, right to the edge of the dance floor, but not on it.
Oh, this is a
Give me
new.
funny
This is a
ideas.
new image.
Once more alone, I see.
Oh, it's Pantiabella. She's got all the eyes. Such filth. Now this woman looks like she's from Hades. Like this woman really would not be like out of place in Hades or Hades 2. And possibly Bloodborne. If you know, you know. Yeah. Well, you know what, actually, Tash? That's a really good point. She may be. She may be.
You scared the shit out of me.
But you can't shit. You're a vampire.
I love this woman.
Know that I see much, vampire, and that I like what I see.
Are you coming on to me?
Oh, it's her again. Well, I was hoping to find a mortal friend, or at least a willing Nick. Now, what do mortals of this time talk about?
Let's be the British. We're gonna be awkward about the weather because that's how we roll in the Shire.
Cold this week, ain't it?
But you're always cold, because you are dead.
Fuck. Well, being British is close to being dead, admittedly, so, you know.
That's right. I'm dead. I'm a dead man, as I like to say.
Holy shit, this is like me
I
flirting.
see.
You see a lot, don't you?
Why don't you tell me what you see?
I see an interesting mortal. Someone observant. Someone who isn't afraid to have their own style.
That is what you observe. It is not what you see.
Oh.
Well, fine, you tell me what I see.
You see the long vein across my throat. It looks very juicy, doesn't it?
Okay, that should be illegal. Whoever the voice actress is, you are not allowed to say juicy anymore. That is filth. You flirting, when Brian started flirting with me, I went along with it because I thought a friend joke and about that sort of thing. It's true. I've no idea. You know, everyone keeps saying that I might have some autistic qualities, and I do agree to that to a certain extent. However, I honestly didn't think... Oh, I can't. I mean, I don't... The thing is, though, I can talk to people and I can kind of reflect that kind of vibe. But actually, if I'm actually physically trying to flirt with someone and be like, hey, 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 ha, 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 it doesn't happen. I just end up, like, talking about boobs or something. Well, actually, no, I end up... I don't know. That's the thing. I've never truly got into, like, flirt mode. You know, who does that? I think flirting is like a natural rapport with someone. To actually physically try and flirt is really painful. And also, it's really disingenuous. Like, all those arseholes like Andrew Tate and other sort of pickup merchants that are like, yeah, you gotta like neg on girls, and then you gotta be like, yeah. And then you've got the other side of the fence, which is just like, so what you want to do is you want to make sure that there's a man, and when he gets his wallet out, you check that it's like leather, and then you're like, desperation is never sexy. It's very true. It's like, although saying that, when I was at university, I got very drunk once, and there was a particularly cute person. And oh man, I would not shut up. I was such a fucking dickhead. Honestly, bless my friends for putting up with me, because oof. But hey, university and cheap shots. You gotta learn, right? You gotta learn. Anyway, back to being juicy. Looks juicy, doesn't it?
Well, now that you mention it, it does.
Then consent is given. Do not hesitate, vampire.
Okay. Alley-up.
Shucks, that was something else. You got good circulation there.
Actually, this is a really good point. If you are a vampire and you're trying to get it on with a human and you bite them, what is a good compliment that you could give someone after drinking their blood? Because just going, your blood is delicious is a bit farce, right? Or going, oh, it tastes like coffee and hints of nutmeg and that kind of shit. It's just like, no. I mean, good circulation, that's like a really good practical point. it doesn't clog my arteries. Wow, you don't taste like cigarette and nicotine. You don't taste like nicotine. You don't taste like illicit drugs. Wow, you obviously drink a lot of water because your blood is so hydrated. It's not syrupy. Oh, your blood is a bit too sweet. Have you considered that you might be diabetic?
I see. And what do I taste like?
Ah, fuck, here we go. Yeah, my ex saw me perform on stage and took a fancy to me. My second ex and I just vibed well, and my third ex fell harder for me when I gave him an image of me carrying him past the COVID ward. Yeah, well, I can tell you don't have diabetes. No, yeah, exactly. No flirting was involved in my part. I have no idea. I am completely ignorant to all attempts. But then again, I just think I'm like nobody would fancy me at all. So that's probably why. I'm just like, ha ha ha, you're just being nice to me. Oh, bless you. And see, what do I sorry, that's not the voice. I see. And what do I taste like?
Kind of earthy. You could use some iron. What do you eat most often?
Well, holy shit. It's like we're in sync with the writers of this game. Oh, really? That's interesting. So the next time my brother goes into a hypo, I can be like, why do you smell like curry? You smell like chicken tikka masala. So what? Kind of earthy. You could use some iron. What do you eat most often?
I eat a lot of carrots. They're supposed to be good for one's eyesight, and I like to see.
Too much blood sugar. Or too much sugar.
I see now that you are tired and wish to enter your state of torpor.
Well, maybe I'll see myself out then.
Sam, that was terrible.
That's offensive. I'm going to leave now.
Ooh, swing and a miss.
Shoot, was it something I said? Well, at least I got a full belly. And now, time for some shut-eye.
That's amazing. I don't know if it's universal in that regard or whether the scent
Sam.
would be different
I believe you are
from
seeing the ancient one
individual
tonight,
to
aren't you?
individual. That's very... well, that's true, yeah. Hang on, let me just save. Oh my god, that's so funny. I mean, okay, and that's to be honest, that's a really weird question to ask someone. I think, you know, hey, Kosh, I know that you have diabetes. Just wondering, when you're low on sugar, what do you smell like? I suppose I could ask his wife, but I think that would also be really weird. These are not necessarily things that you want to ask people. I mean, if you were, I don't know, if you were doing a diabetic study of, like, smells... Actually, I wonder if that's how dogs can tell, because you're... Yeah, or when you're high on sugar, what do you smell like? Do you smell like a Snickers bar? Do you smell like a Mars bar? No, I wonder if that's how dogs can tell if you're low or high on sugar. Because you do get diabetic sniffing dogs that can smell if you're going to go into a hypo if you're low on sugar. That's really interesting. Huh. But it must be really bad if humans can detect it. Huh. something to think about. Good evening, Samuel. I believe you are seeing the Ancient One tonight, aren't you?
Ancient One? She's 1,200 years younger than you, Andy.
I suppose I was engaging in a bit of labeling myself. You are, of course, correct. Still, her age presents a unique challenge. After one lives for 1,000 years, history seems less a line than a fixed point. Speaking of which, I imagine you can guess what distortion an old one such as Medi might fixate upon.
Let's have a look at Medi's. Yeah, talks about mortals as if they're all the same. Spends a lot of time online. Creates strong one-way attachments with her followers. Needs to get outside. Oh, this is the Twitch streamer. Oh, sorry, the glitch streamer, who's almost 2,000 years old. She was a bog witch, which is really cool. I think she needs some time to figure out why she's got such a simple view of mortals. I think it's...
It's gotta be overgeneralization. She really is basing all her opinions on her experiences when she was alive.
Very good, Samuel. I heard tales of her island in my time, but they were never peaceful tales. I am not surprised she finds safety in her narrative.
Yeah, there was some crazy fucked up shit back in them days.
What other distortions do you think Medi might exhibit?
Okay, pick your weapons. Oh, look at her. She's fucking adorable. Control fallacy, labeling. Nosferatu thinking, I think, and I think should statements. Right, let's just save. Save scumming! We love save scumming. Oh, we're going into the second one now.
Good to go, boss.
Then I will leave you to it. Good luck, my friend.
I have to admit, this gets really difficult because the distortions, like the new versions of the distortions are... Yeah, should statements seem to be like a thing she's expected. Yeah, I should do this, I should do that. Or I should go outside, or I shouldn't be afraid. It's like, why shouldn't you be afraid? Yeah. Bat!
Hello again, strange cowboy man.
Oh god, she's fucking cute. God damn her. Look at her! Look at her, she's adorable. She's fucking crazy, but adorable.
It's good to see you again, Mitty. How's the past month been for you?
Went for a walk, just like you suggested. Didn't like it very much.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. What was so unpleasant about it?
It's very loud outside. And dirty and smelly. Everywhere I walked, it smelled like mortal food. Just disgusting.
She's if Alloy was made using the BG3 character creator. That is a fair comment. That is a really fair comment. In fact, I want to say that symbol looks suspiciously familiar to, I mean, it kind of looks like any game studio / maybe CD Projekt Red, maybe / something to do with one of my fangs went a bit funny there. Maybe with something with Lost Horizons or Zero Dawn. Zero Dawn? Yeah, Zero Dawn. Yeah. Don't mind me, I'm having a brain fart.
They knew how good it felt to drink blood. Maybe they would not eat so much of this pizza food.
Okay, woman, no. Pizza is a fucking amazing thing. Even an ancient vampire in What We Do in the Shadows says he wants to try pizza pie just to see if it's amazing, and everyone says, you know what I always wanted to try? Coprophilia. Pizza pie. Is it as amazing? Coprophilia.
There's so many cars too. I don't like cars. They have hateful faces. They look so angry all the time.
Well, I mean, they are that Elon Musk fucking tank bullshit.
Stepped in a wee, killed 7 men and got splashed by a bus. It's really quite awful.
Well, that's just an average night out in Cambridge, to be honest.
You killed 7 men? How the heck did that happen?
Oh, that was inconvenient, you know. Normally I have my zealots do that kind of thing for me. They take care of the bodies. But I had to do all that silly work myself. And now there are always police sirens going off, which interrupts my streams and makes my followers very sad.
Oops!
Why did that all happen?
Because they found the bodies everywhere, silly. I don't know what to do with my rubbish.
Wait, you're nearly 2,000 years old and you don't know how to put the trash out. Jesus Christ, woman.
I meant, why the killing? You didn't happen to make a few assumptions based on past experiences? Why kill a bunch of men?
Oh, well, they looked at me. I know what mortals who look at me are like. If I let them live, they'd probably try to burn me as a witch. I could do nothing but kill them.
Hold on a sec. You know what mortals who look at you are like.
Just step
How do
into
you know?
the
Are
sun.
you reading their minds?
Wow, harsh, harsh, harsh. Hold on a sec.
I don't have to read their minds, sweetling. I have known manlings for a very long time.
I get what you're saying. But here in this room, at least, we gotta be honest with ourselves. Do you really know what they were thinking?
Silly mouseling. I do not need to know what a wolf is thinking to know what a wolf is.
Yeah, but wolves don't necessarily want to come and eat you. In fact, they don't really like going anywhere near people. They like to be by them, you know, with their pack, eating things. If they see a human, they generally like to fuck off.
Does that mean every wolf you see is gonna try to eat you?
We don't have wolves anymore. They're all gone now.
Although there is talk of trying to reintroduce them into Scotland, which I wholeheartedly agree.
So maybe you can see where that kind of thinking can be a problem. It was scared people who killed all them wolves, right? Now I know that thinking doesn't come from nowhere. Old as you are, I'm sure you've seen some real awful stuff.
That's right. Haven't killed you, though. You are kind, little mouse.
Well, let's lay off the mouse stuff a little.
I'm sorry. I don't wish for you to scurry away into a little hole. Do you want to hear why I feel the way I do?
I would appreciate it greatly, miss.
Let me tell you about men from my time, then. Let's start with me, Da. My father sold me and my mother to a chief of a rival clan for a golden necklace.
That is just horrifying.
Oh, don't fuss, sweetling. It was the most beautiful golden necklace. At least 2 girls' worth. Father got quite a deal, really.
Uh-huh.
You're using humor, but I'm sure that must have been heartbreaking for you.
It was common at the time. I suppose I should have been glad to be the possession of an old chief.
Whose should is that, matey?
Why, everyone thought that. They were ever so surprised when I ran away. Did wish I could feel the way they felt, but I simply could not.
I think most of us vampires had it rough as kids. Maybe most kids have it rough, I don't know. But the one thing I do know is that kids don't come with the same shoulds their parents have got. I think we're learning all them shoulds ended up being a load of horse shit anyway.
I knew girls who did as they were told. They would have been thrilled to have been the concubine of a powerful chief.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
But, oh, he was so old. Cormac O'Neill, the oldest man I had ever seen. I remember thinking, where is his face? Because I could not see it under all his disgusting wrinkles.
How old was the guy?
37.
38.
Fuck. That was a good punt.
That was pretty old in your time, huh? Wish I'd died at 38. Could have been a better looking corpse.
Well, he left an awful looking corpse. His face was all.
I'm guessing you had something to do with that, huh?
Not me. My boyfriend, Abertach. Told me he'd set me
Abertach.
free.
What a good name.
I suppose he did. He created a delightful poison for me. He said it would make my dear master die in excruciating pain.
Oh, good. Poisoning. Wonderful.
So, one night I lay with him, and that means I did sex, and when he was pleased, I fed him the poison mead. Abby did what I couldn't, and the old fool finally died.
It sounds as though Medi did her fair share in freeing herself from captivity. It must have been terrifying for her.
So, one night I lay with him, and that means I did sex, and when he was pleased, I fed him the poison mead. Abby did what I couldn't, and the old fool finally died.
It sounds as though Medi...
So, one night I lay with him.
It sounds as...
So,
You're saying your
Okay.
boyfriend killed your husband, but it sounds to me like you did the real work. He mixed up some herbs, sure, but you were the one that had to sleep with the old man and get the poison in him.
Abby made sure I knew it was because of him that I was free. He said it could never have happened without him.
He didn't have to be brave to mix up a potion. I think the bravery was all you, Medi. Don't disqualify the idea that the person who set you free was you.
Maybe I should have had disqualify the positive. But I mean, technically speaking, like, control fallacy also kind of plays into that because she believed herself completely powerless. And if it wasn't for Abby and the poison, then yeah, okay, I see how that works.
You know, I think you're absolutely right, strange cowboy man. I did do all the work.
Spoony being almost psychic with ages. Yep. God, you think I was a fucking ancient then?
But Abby never let me forget that he was the one who freed me. He wanted me to worship him.
Okay, I see where this is going.
A fella who demands to be worshipped is always going to be a dangerous man.
Dangerous men have always been drawn to me. Must be something about the way I am.
So what happened after you killed Cormac?
The Neil clan came after me and Abby. They found him, took their swords and went, stab, stab, stabby, stabby, stab, stab, stab.
Holy fuck. I think her and Laudner would get on quite well.
But Abby just laughed. That's how I found out he was undead already. Gave me the willies. When they couldn't kill Abby, they decided to kill me instead. And that made him very upset indeed, because I belonged to him.
Ah. This isn't going to be good.
That must have been terrifying.
I suppose. Mostly hurt. Lots and lots. Getting stabbed isn't much fun when you're immortal.
No, it's really
I
not.
ain't too fond of it as a vampire neither.
Abby fed me his blood, though, and then I became like him. When I woke up, the Neil clan who tried to kill us were all properly dead. Well, almost dead. They still had a lot of blood left, and I was hungry. The Neil clan was ever so cross, though. They captured Abby and sealed him in a tomb with some forgotten spells. He's still there, as far as I know.
What happened to you?
I didn't have a future with my tribe. I insulted both my clan and Cormac's clan by killing their chief. My only choice was to be alone. That's the wisest choice.
That kind of all-or-nothing thinking could get us in trouble. If we think all is lost, we're liable to do things we wouldn't normally do. I know I did some stuff I regretted in them moments, and I sure wish I'd taken a breath and stepped back in all them times.
It's true. That's very true. I'm a terrible person for not actually... Well, I now try to take a step back and actually just review the situation before I go off and do something, but generally speaking, I forget most of the time. But then again, it's difficult. I mean, okay, not to sort of poo-poo it, but it is really genuinely difficult when you are in a moment and you have to make a decision, and there is no way that you can... Well, it doesn't feel like you can put the brakes on and go, actually, no, you tell you what, I'm going to take 10 minutes, I'm going to get myself a cup of tea, and I'm going to think about this, because they're, you know, just human beings and all their bits and bobs. So, yes, it is wise to take a moment before committing to something.
You sound so sad when you say that, funny cowboy man.
I'm all right. I'm just saying, you're a capable lady. You've always got more options than you think in a bad moment.
Oh, but you're just a child. I don't want you to be sad.
Well, let's focus on you, huh? You say you've been living alone ever since then?
Of course, my silly cowboy man. We aren't mortal anymore. We will always end up alone. Why waste my time?
Come on, Mitty. You're distorting a lot of reality there. All vampires ain't lonely. Some of us choose to be, but not all of us. Sure, mortals have a habit of dying, but there will always be more of them. Not to mention all the vampires out there. Heck, I used to be in a vampire gang. Cult. Well, kind of both. They weren't good company, but they certainly weren't lonely.
I mean, yeah, that's true for a cult. You're never alone in a cult.
I mean, ain't we talking? Well, there's loads of vampires out there who think like you do, and they're fulfilling their own prophecies of loneliness.
Ah, self-fulfilling prophecies. I know them well.
You're being a mean little mouse now, and I don't like it very much. Maybe I should have killed you after all.
I'm trying to help you, Mitty. The world's changed a lot in the last 1800 years. A lot of it bad, but a lot of it good too. By and large, most people ain't burning witches and selling their daughters. That sort of thing's frowned upon by mortals these days. There are laws out there to protect folks now. It ain't like in old times.
May I tell you a story, little mouse?
All right, tell me a story.
Once upon a time, there was a very pretty young lady. Pretty, but also crazy. Like me.
I don't mean to interrupt your story so soon, but you didn't think I was gonna let you get away with that one, did you? Don't call yourself crazy. You've been around way longer than I have. You gotta know that sanity is relative.
I know I'm crazy, though. Everyone tells me so, even my zealots. They like that I'm crazy.
You know, crazy ain't supposed to be a nice word. So why are you using it? Why are you creating a reality where what you are is crazy?
You are an annoying little mouse sometimes. Very well. I won't call myself crazy in front of you.
It's a start.
May I continue my story now?
Yes,
The
please.
pretty young lady Mary had moved in with her cousin, Mrs. Hultridge. At first they got along quite well. But one day, Mary started acting naughty. She would shout, act unladylike, and even say that Jesus Christ wasn't very special. Mrs. Hultridge liked Jesus Christ very much and wanted Mary to like him too. When she didn't, this embarrassed Mrs. Hultridge. She began to think something was wrong with Mary. After all, who didn't like Jesus Christ? Mrs. Hultridge said that Mary had begun to vomit up pins and buttons, nails, glass, and bits of wool. Instead of being grateful for the free gifts Mary was vomiting up, Mrs. Hultridge said that she had been attacked by 8 witches in spectral form. Now, just so happened that all 8 of those witches lived very close to the town where Mrs. Huttridge lived. Despite their magical prowess, the 8 witches were captured and put into the stocks, and all the people of the town were told that the women did not like Jesus Christ at all. So the Jesus Christ-liking people threw rotten vegetables and poo at the witches. And, just for fun, they gouged out the eye of one of them.
Oh, okay, this is...
Then they kicked the witches out of town and lived happily ever after. The end.
Well, that ain't a pleasant story.
Oh, it was very unpleasant. It hurts very much to have your eye taken away, but I like my new eye. It's fun.
Ah, I did wonder about that. Hi, Clash.
I was 1500 summers old or so when that happened. The world hadn't changed much then. I don't think it's changed much now.
Poor Medi.
I'm sorry that happened to you, Medi. You're right. Folk can be pretty awful when they get riled up. That ain't changed.
Oh, don't be sorry, little mouse. I like my new eye. Also, the story has a happy ending.
Yeah, does it though?
Oh yeah? What's that?
After I had my eye taken away, I took Mrs. Huttridge's parts away too, one by one until she died. It was so much fun.
That's a little morbid, Medi.
Morbid Mary. Oh, I like that. It's very clever, little mice. But you see why I'm careful now?
Yeah, again, like, really, well, okay, so, barring what has recently happened, in a place in the UK recently, generally speaking, that kind of thing doesn't really happen, or at least I'd like to think that that kind of thing doesn't happen much anymore, in terms of, people getting riled up and whatnot, but unfortunately, mob mentality, absolute wankers.
Yeah, I get it. But look, there's one thing that's different now, and that's...
The UN exists. What we're doing right now. Liberal democracy has solved everything. Well, that's not quite true. Yeah, that's the problem. It would if you pick the right subject. That's the...
It's what we're doing right now. In all that time up till now, therapy ain't never existed. We only just started looking at ourselves and the way we think. Before recent times, we only looked at gods, government, and society. The self is a new frontier, and we're learning stuff we never considered before. The frontier can be kind of scary, but being on that frontier means moving forward. Come with me.
No, Tash, no! No democracy here! Go away! Gloober globber guff nubbin. Charlie, are you okay? Do you need help? Put your hand up if you need help, my friend.
Silly mouse. If something feels scary, that means that there must be something to be scared of.
I know you've been through a lot and you got damn good reasons for being careful. But there's a reason you came to me, right?
Yes, but it wasn't because I wanted to go outside. It's because of my fans. They're very demanding.
Oh, right. My cans are currently occupied, typing out messages. You're not in front of a mirror, are you? Joking. I hope you're well too, Charlie. I saw your message earlier. I meant to reply back, but I was busy at work, and then I made food. No, that's cool for 2 weeks' time. Enjoy your Saturday.
Right. That's why we were talking about your going for walks and went down this rabbit hole.
The latency on your stream is so low. Yeah, well, I think that's probably because I'm using OBS now instead of Twitch Studio. that might be the issue. That might be what's doing it. I've now switched over to OBS because Twitch Studio is now non-existent. I mean, I think the video quality is definitely better, or at least when I was looking back at the video from my past stream, it seemed to be like Skyrim seemed to be a lot clearer. But that could be me. I could just be smoking crack. It is a possibility. Not that I actually smoke crack. I'd like to point out that as a joke. The only crack I smoke is people's bums. No, that's worth. I don't do any of that. Okay, just ignore that. It's a joke.
Or, in your case, a mouse hole.
Anyway, therapy usually ain't about just one thing. It's about lots of things. If the problem is your fans, we gotta imagine unlife without them, right?
Don't want to lose them all. Some of them are gentle. They're too weak to hurt anyone, which is why they don't.
Beneath her smile, Medi has a darker view of humanity than most. Is the only reason the weak do not hurt the strong that they cannot?
Don't want to lose.
Beneath her
Don't want to.
You really think weak people would hurt others?
Little mouse, I've been alive for a long time. I believe what my eye shows me. Yes, if one is capable of hurting another, they do.
You can smoke whoever crack you like. No kink shaming from me. Well, again, that's a good point. We don't kink shame here.
They can, but they don't always. You ever seen them capybara animals?
Capybara! Yeah,
They're dang
capybara.
massive rodents.
Capybara,
They do some
capybara,
damage if they wanted
capybara,
to, I
capybara,
reckon.
capybara, capybara. They're damn massive rodents.
Oh, yes! Oh, they're very cute. People like to share animated pictures of them in my community.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome.
Some folk are like that. They just want to sit around and have someone scratch their bellies.
Is that what you want, little mouse? Do you want me to scratch your belly?
Nope. Boundaries.
What? No, I'm just saying. Don't assume everyone's out to hurt someone. Yeah, it happens. Of course it does. But that kind of thinking ain't giving folks their fair shot.
Don't know what I'll do if I don't have my followers. I can't live the way I used to before the machines took over. Oh, they expect so much of me now. They send me messages all night and all day. They need content. God, if I don't give them their content, they'll all leave. Their attention spans are like those of little bugs, but they're not as cute.
Okay, I think we need to talk about moderation.
Oh, I already have moderators, silly mouse. Any major content creator has to have them.
Well, luckily for you, I'm not a major content creator. I don't have any mods at all, except for the robot ones. Although, if anyone actually wants to be a mod, I'll happily give them the mod power. So that if anyone naughty comes in and I'm too busy, I don't know, staring at Astarian's nipple, you can smack them over the head with the band hammer. Or the band spoon.
I don't know what that stuff means. I'm talking about moderation.
No
of your
thanks.
thinking.
Fair enough.
What if you gave your fans only what you felt comfortable giving?
Doesn't matter what I want, silly mouse. They just want me to overreact to video games.
Again, Medi seems to view her followers.
Doesn't matter what I want.
Medi, you're thinking that mortals want only one type of content is forcing you to make only one type of content.
This is very interesting. This is a dilemma that content creators of the world over have an issue with.
Your assumptions are keeping you from doing things you like, and you deserve to do things you actually enjoy.
You're very kind. I thought cowboys were supposed to be tough.
Who says I ain't? I just don't have nothing to prove no more. Here, why don't we try something new for next time, since going out didn't go so well last time. I want to challenge you to take a day off. Don't answer any messages, don't post no content. Just do something for you and you alone. Take a sick day.
Can you give me a story recap? Okay, so the vampire therapist. This person... What is this game about? I'm sure Astarian's nipple could be used as a spellcasting focus. It wouldn't surprise me. So, Vampire Therapist is about a vampire named Sam Walls, who... Yeah. You can look it up and see him as well. Vampire Cowboy gives therapy to other humans, or sorry, other vampires. We have 4 vampires that come once every 4 weeks. We have a relatively recently deceased doctor who has a drug addiction. We have a Renaissance Signora Isabella who has an existential crisis. You have Edmund, who is an actor who is so up his own arse it's not even funny, but he's having problems getting back on stage because he doesn't like critics. And also now you have Medi, who is a very old vampire who doesn't like going out and is finding glitch streaming becoming a bit of a shitter because her fans are so fucking needy and she doesn't understand boundaries, which is why she keeps calling him Little Mouse and whatnot.
But we never get sick. We're dead people.
They don't know that, do they? One day. That's all I'm asking for. You need to give yourself a little space.
Very well. Since you've been a very kind mouse, I'll do it for you.
I'd prefer it if you did it for you, but we'll work toward that, huh?
Oh, I wish I had a big piece of cheese to give to you right now.
A lactose intolerance is kind of a side effect of death, but I appreciate the sentiment. I'll see you in a month then, okay?
Yes.
Great. I'll see you then.
Bye.
You are doing well, my friend. I know we old ones can be rather inscrutable sometimes.
And this is our mentor. His name is Andromachos. He is a 3,000-year-old vampire that hails from Greece. And he also is interested in using CBT-esque techniques to help vampires move through their problems and realise that their unlife can be more than they're making it to be. We've just done our second sessions with all 4 of them now. But also, we just want Sam to be happy because he's also having issues of his own. And he's kind of a reformed cult gang person. And last session we found out that the way that the gang indoctrinated him to their cult, they killed his horse. It was horrible. The horse wasn't called Bojack, by the way, just so you know.
She's human. We all are, ain't we? The way I see it, we all got the same problems one way or another.
Your wisdom never fails to impress, Samuel. I believe it is time for you to follow your own advice to Miss Medi, however. All work and no play makes for a dull vampire, as they say.
All work and no beer make Homer go something crazy. Don't mind if I do!
Yeah, you're probably right. I might hit the hay early and do a bit of reading.
If you must take out some aggression on Hay, then please do so. I shall see you soon, my friend. Rest in peace.
Good night, Andy.
Also, you get sweet, sexy German vampire goth Matthew Mercer, so, you know.
Dang, I wonder how I'll feel about humanity when I'm 1800. Heck, I wonder whether there'll even be a planet. I guess it's time to drown my existential woes in blood.
Yeah, get some blood, baby.
Howdy there, Crimson.
Oh, Crimson, we love Crimson.
You're sounding a little weary there, cowboy. You getting enough to drink these nights?
Oh yeah, that ain't it. Just existential ponderings.
That's just my specialty. What's eating you, buckaroo?
It's this old client I got. She's been watching humanity hurting itself for 1,800 years. Every time she expected better, she got hurt. She ain't wrong to mistrust mortals.
That's a tough one. What do you do with someone like that?
Well, I tried to guide her to look inward like I do with everyone. People are people, but so is she.
How do you think she took it?
She's
I
really
think
well.
she appreciated the focus on her. I can't answer for all humanity, but maybe she can get answers from herself.
I think you could stand to listen to yourself, Ranchero. You could have been a mean old Dracula, and nobody would expect anything different from you. Reckon there have always been people like you, no matter how bad it's been in history.
Dang, Crimson. I can see why Andy respects you so much. You done some living, sounds like.
So I'm just gonna bust some moves. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Shake your booty, German techno music. Oh yeah, oogie, oogie, boogie.
Death at the door can put things into perspective. I get where your client is coming from. Changing the world isn't gonna happen, but we can at least change ourselves.
I don't think that's true. The country I left definitely ain't the country I was born in.
The wheels turn a little slowly for us mortals, cowboy. Back in DC, I was trying to push policy to do something about our poverty problem, but the kind gentlemen across the street were pretty happy to make things worse. When I got my cancer diagnosis, that was my wake-up call to stop getting disappointed and start living with the little amount of time I had left.
Bad is I wouldn't necessarily say that they're bad, but they are problematic. One of them has another side to them that is definitely problematic and could be considered dangerous. Technically, you could argue that Medi's not particularly a good person because she doesn't exactly view mortals in a particularly nice light. Whereas Andy and Sam are very into consent and living side by side with mortals, drinking from those who are willing to be drunk from. They're redeeming themselves through therapy, or not necessarily redeeming themselves, but they're coming to terms with their past through therapy. So bad is a bit of a... It's a bit of a black and white term. I'd say there are issues. Some issues don't necessarily rub people the right way. Yeah, exactly. They're not innately bad. That's the thing. They've done bad things. They are capable of doing bad things, but they are not innately bad. That's a really good way of putting it, Doom Hibby.
Working at a bar is more rewarding than being a member of the bar, huh?
Yeah, I mean, some of them are being overly critical of mortals. Yeah, no, that's fine. Especially Medi, because she's been hurt. She's lived for 1800 years, and I think you just sort of came in after she sort of explained her story, that she had basically been sold off as a young girl to a clan, to an what seemingly supposedly old clansman, and was forced to be a concubine, and then was picked up by a more powerful man who gave her poison to poison the clan leader to escape, and has basically been controlled. And then years later, when she finally break free of that control and she was living happily about her business, a group of mortals decided to come and round up some other people, and they took her eye. And you know, she has suffered at the hands of mortals, whether rightly so or not, and therefore she has a really dim view of humans. And she also, you know, but then again, when you're 1800 years old and you're if you've removed yourself from humanity, it's okay. The best way I can describe it, it's like Medi is suffering Dr. Manhattan syndrome, where you are so far removed from humanity, even though you are human shaped, you just kind of go, well, what does it matter? None of this matters. You don't matter. I'm going to remove myself entirely from the situation. I don't count. You don't count. So...
Not bad, cowboy. It's got its charms. Here, I whipped up something special for you.
Ooh, blood tea.
That ain't half bad. Got a refreshing taste.
Rose hips. Just a little something extra. Been experimenting with some herbals for Andy.
Guess old dogs like us can still learn new tricks. Thanks, Crimson. I think I'll hit the hay now.
You hit that hay, Desperado. I'll see you later.
Got a lot on my mind tonight. I think I need some rest. Now, what should I do to relax?
Let's reflect on the day with some Emerson.
I always pick up a little extra perspective from Ralphie Waldo. Emerson, that is. Let's see if I can find a good passage. Bingo. In the woods is perpetual youth. Within these plantations of God, a decorum and sanctity reign. A perennial festival is dressed, and the guest sees not how he should tire of them in 1,000 years.
Also, this is the pimpest coffin I've ever seen. I think if I was ever to be put in a coffin, this is the kind of coffin I'd want. It's very snuggly, and it also kind of makes me not feel that, what's the word I'm looking for? Claustrophobic.
In the woods, we return to reason and faith. There I feel that nothing can befall me. No disgrace, no calamity, leaving me my eyes, which in the wilderness I find something more dear and connate than in streets or villages. In the tranquil landscape, and especially in the distant line of the horizon, man beholds somewhat as beautiful as his own nature. Ain't that the truth? Future's always ahead, no matter how old we get. That's enough for one night. Time to visit Dreamland. Maybe I'll see my princess there.
Princess is his horse. It's so sad.
Samuel, my dear, I do look forward to our chats. How are you feeling tonight?
Speaking of which, how are you guys doing? Are you enjoying yourselves? Have you managed to cool down yet? I'm still sweating my arse off because it is still quite warm in Cambridge. Actually, I'll just see how warm it is. Let's have a look. Oh, 19 degrees. It's gone down to 19 degrees. But in my bedroom it still feels really bloody hot. I have been borderline naked for the past 3 days.
Boss, I'm a little
Nice.
down. I love helping other vampires, but getting therapy myself sometimes ain't much fun.
Yeah, therapy is Christ. It's like building. It's like taking a very complicated Lego creation that obviously has flaws, and then you have to rebuild it from the fucking ground up, and it is a pain.
I understand. Looking in the mirror is difficult for any human, much more so when they don't cast a reflection.
You ain't kidding. It just seems like there's always work to do, you know? Like my walking in the woods for 90 years wasn't nearly enough time.
Tired, cool down. Still got 2 days of work left. Today just felt exhausting. Ugh. I feel ya. Have you got a holiday coming up?
I dare say you are correct. I believe that we must never cease our walking in the woods. There is no mystery deeper than that of our own existence.
Where do vampires come from anyway?
Oh, we're hitting on the big questions now. Holy shit.
Well, Samuel, when two vampires love each other very much...
Come on, boss, that's not what I'm asking. Where do we come from?
The answer to that is much older than recorded history, my friend. But let us focus on you.
Ah, heading to Bristol to meet a friend. Nice.
We should start with some meditation and determine what thoughts are most important to you right now.
Okay, right. So last time I did this, I didn't really know what I was supposed to do. But now I have an idea. It's a bit like Danganronpa, so...
Close your eyes and envision your place of comfort.
I ain't good at being a therapist.
Beep, 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 beep.
Weird. Ich bin Sam. Ich bin ein cool man. Election looks real bad back home.
Yeah, it does.
Dr. Drain thinks I'm brain damaged. Why'd my mama have to marry that asshole? When's the sunrise? The Senora hates my guts. Sure wish you were still here, Jeb. Actors need help, that's for dang sure. Wish I had more book smarts. Bet he scares the heck out of me.
Yeah, she fucking does.
You're an idiot, Sam, hurting all them folk. Why'd I join up with a gang in the first place?
How are you feeling now?
Hey! Kept perfect focus for a relaxation session. Well done. Hello, Megan! How you doing, buddy? Yay! Everybody wave to Megan! Woo woo! So, Megan, how's Gail?
I'm way more centered now. I think I was actually afraid of therapy today.
Why is that, my friend? What thoughts came up?
Well, after last time, I think I was stewing a bit. Just being real angry at myself for joining that nasty cult in the first place.
Apple cider, best cider pub I've ever been to. Oh, the apple. I'm too hot and I hate Moonrise. Yeah, Moonrise is a fucker. But Gail is fine. That's good. Gail's still alive.
They preyed on the vulnerable, as cults tend to do. If you had been a man of means with a
It's
robust
a bar on a
support
boat,
system,
Spoonie.
I doubt they would have noticed you.
Oh, really? The apple is on a boat. That sounds like an Assassin's Creed reference if I ever heard one.
Yeah, I know. And honestly, I'm mad about that too. I mean, my country did me real wrong and put me in that sorry state to begin with.
Shit. To be honest, I'd have to probably have a look at... Does anyone have any tips for Megan on beating Moonrise in Baldur's Gate 3? My suggestion was bombs, fire, counterspell, and just spam healing. Oh, that's a better idea.
This sounds like a proverbial can of worms.
Yeah, you could definitely say that. After we talked last time, I kept thinking, what could I have done differently? And the answer amounts to horse shit. All that law-breaking I did, all that murdering and stealing and doing no good, that was my country failing me.
Let us slow down, Samuel. You are making a bit of a logical leap. I have great admiration and empathy for you, my friend, but it is disrespectful to those you hurt to blame anyone but yourself.
Yeah, actually, Sleet Storm is pretty fucking awesome. That is very true. Sleet Storm is very, very good.
I mean, I guess I could have died. Suppose that would have been
And
kinder.
Jaheira has a lot of
That's
that,
a lot
actually.
to ask a boy to do.
I am not suggesting that you should have died, and I do not suggest that your country was without fault. However, your country had its role, and you had yours. You are using a cognitive distortion called blaming. When we engage in blaming, we ignore or wipe away our own faults, attributing them to someone or something else.
Blaming. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Jaheira.
Our faults are precious, Samuel. We cannot be ourselves without them. Do not wipe them away.
I mean, I just wish things hadn't been the way they were. If my country had taken a better trail, maybe I would have turned out different.
Differently. I am sorry to interrupt, but Senora Deste might correct you less gently. Now then, perhaps it would help to put blaming into perspective. It is always humbling to see ourselves in the mirrors of our minds, is it not? Let's try some examples. See if you can tell when I am blaming. I turned into a bat the other day and flew right into a tree. Who put that tree there?
Blaming someone else or the tree for you being clumsy, that ain't gonna do anyone much good. I smacked into my fair share of trees back when I was a youngster, but that was definitely my fault.
Of course, there is no shame in being a novice flyer as a young vampire, but we can be insecure creatures. That's our humanity at work.
Going to try and sneak. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Because you can. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Actually, I just did the frontal assault because I was an arsehole. You can crawl in. You can get in. Yeah. Or maybe I just did. I overpower. Did I just force feed Karlak a shitload of soul coins? You know what? I'm gonna have to go back and check what I did because I can't honestly remember. All I remember is there was a lot of bombs, a lot of swearing, and a lot of restarts.
I was unable to perform in bed with Crimson the other night. It must have been her fault.
Dang, that is some blaming. Takes two to tango, boss. Maybe there's some bad blood brewing between you two. Man, I wish I hadn't heard about it.
Do not worry, my friend. Crimson and I bring each other great satisfaction.
All right, I get it.
I said nothing lurid, Samuel. Why are you so distressed?
Because I don't like talking about sex.
Singing great satisfaction. It's like hearing your parents talking about their sex lives. I mean, not that you're... I mean, forget I said anything.
All right, Samuel, let us move on.
Oh, poor Sam. He's so... I mean, I'd probably be the same. Actually, no, would I be the same way? Probably not. I'd be like, hey, high five!
The interface on this widely used new vampire dating app is so modern. How do they expect anyone to use this cursed thing?
Come on now, boss. Not every app out there is designed too good, but we can't expect machines to run themselves. Well, that's some blaming right there.
You are correct, Samuel. It was only hypothetical, of course. I do endeavor to keep up with the times. By the way, thank you again for teaching me Control-V and Control-C the other night. What a delightful trick.
Oh yeah, way faster than going through the edit menu all the time.
You youngsters always find the latest tricks. Let's keep going, though. Did you see the football game the other night? My preferred team played with great skill and should have won. The referee was clearly an agent of the Dark Lord.
Well, I'm sure a lot of England fans would think about that.
Hold on, Andy. I think I saw the game you're talking about, and you're just blaming the ref for your team's mistakes. You got a great tight end, but one that plays a little dirty.
Just gonna take a screenshot for no apparent reason. Well, we all do like a good tight end, but I don't like him dirty.
Excuse me?
I didn't mean it like that. Oh, heck, I can't talk right today.
It's quite all right. Isn't getting dirty the point of play?
Just gonna take another screenshot for my own personal account.
It is the fault of the cursed sun that we must live in darkness.
Well, the sun can't help being the sun, so don't go blaming it.
Don't go blaming waterfalls.
The way I see it, we got our place. That ain't nobody's fault.
Well done, Samuel. Perhaps the sun is even more brilliant in our memories, and seeing the real thing would spoil it.
Well, that's one way of thinking about it. I think I get it. I ain't trying to erase what I did. I'm just bitter that I felt like I had no choice at all. And it all goes back to the United States taking my daddy away for their manifest destiny. I'm mad at him too, dying for his country. What kind of nonsense is that? How'd his country pay him back? By making my poor ma marry a drunk who beat the daylights out of her and his kids? Ain't no damn wonder I turned out the way I did.
That must have been devastating, Samuel. Countries are not human. They cannot feel, and stories such as yours prove it.
I mean, what the hell, Andy? My daddy's corpse didn't give a shit about no United States of America. It's kind of funny when you think about it. He died fighting the British so the U.S. could say they own Missouri. Who the fuck cares?
Any Americans out there? Just know that this is a game.
I'm telling you, Andy, Best thing about being dead is realizing how little that nationalism crap matters.
Just gonna take another screenshot. That seems very apt at the moment.
Desire for identity can create monsters worse than we. What happened after your father died?
Well, we didn't have nothing. The money was running out, so my mom got married to a hard man who drank even harder. He beat up my older brother, Jeb, for fun. And once Jeb started fighting back, dear old stepdad came for me. And that's when my brother killed him.
It sounds like a tragedy from my own country's mythology. I am sorry that such a thing happened to you, Samuel. Your brother was brave.
No kidding. We went on the run together, but he was the one who kept us alive and fed, mostly through stealing and begging. Once we stopped being cute, begging didn't work anymore, so we moved up to robbing and killing. Killed my first man at 12, and then it got a little too easy.
That is young. I cannot imagine how difficult that must have been, Samuel. My country asked me to kill at 20, and I still remember how devastating it felt.
Yeah, well, nobody told me to do it. Like you said, that was all me. I don't think anyone was surprised either. When my brother and I rode into a town, you should have seen the way people looked at us. They knew we were trouble, and we were determined as hell to prove them right.
Aha, a moment, Samuel. I believe this is an opportunity for some growth.
It's them distortions again, huh?
To err is human, as they say. Do not be discouraged. There is something in what you just said that you cannot be sure of. Can you tell me what it is?
I guess there ain't no way of knowing that people thought we were trouble.
That's right, Samuel. There is one way of knowing exactly what they were thinking, and that would be to read their minds. Thus is the cognitive distortion called mind reading. Yes, we can weigh evidence and make predictions, but never with complete certainty.
Mind reading, yes, I am well aware of mind reading.
I was a dirty little thieving murderer. I don't blame him for judging me.
First, that's labeling. Second, one of those people might have been patient and gentle, one that had an experience like yours. You cannot know. With your mind reading, do you see how you made everyone your enemy?
Yeah, you're right. You're damn right.
No one expects a child to be perfectly aware of themselves and the world, Samuel. Remember, start with compassion for yourself. Here, let us do an exercise to help you recognize mind reading. Jesus Christ would have disliked the idea of anal intercourse.
Fucking hell!
I know that's mind reading right there. Unless you asked Jesus Christ himself and he told you, there's no way you'd know how he feels about butt sex.
Okay, anyone who's particularly religious in chat, sorry. I don't think we are, to be honest. It seems to be a rather... That escalated quickly, yeah. It's like, I mean, it's not wrong.
Very good, Samuel. Many in my time have claimed to know the mind of Jesus Christ, and none of them have ever even met him.
Well then.
You were there when he was kicking around. You ever meet him?
No, that part of the world was never really vampire-friendly. The chair you're sitting in is one of his, though. Magnificent, isn't it?
Jesus Christ made this chair?
I bought it cheaply before he became a big deal. He was certainly ahead of his time as a carpenter.
Dang. Now I feel awkward sitting in this thing.
It's more than 2,000 years old, Samuel. It is still just a chair, and it's experienced millennia of past wind. Don't worry about it.
Does that mean the Holy Ghost was technically Jesus farting?
Crimson is upset with me because I forgot to take out the garbage. I know, because she told me so.
Now there's a thought,
I
exactly.
sent my friend Vlad an internet message, and he left it on read.
That's some mind reading for sure. There's no way you know what Vlad's thinking. Maybe he wasn't ready to answer, or maybe he forgot.
Excellent, Samuel. That's correct. There are endless reasons why Vlad would leave my messages on read, and only Vlad knows them. Reading too much into an internet message is a massive waste of time.
Yeah, we're all guilty of that.
The Pony Express was a lot healthier, I think. This internet stuff makes people get real nutty.
Yep.
Mortals are in more of a rush than we are, I'm afraid. Let us continue. One of the patrons of my club was having dirty thoughts about me. I know because I read his mind with my vampiric powers. I told our bouncer Bert a funny joke the other day. He was quiet, but very amused.
How the heck would you know if Bert was amused by your jokes? That's clearly mind reading.
So rude.
You are correct, Samuel. No one knows what Bert is thinking. I like to think he dreams of butterflies. But who can say?
Bert's amazing. We love
I
Bert.
don't think he's thinking of butterflies.
Then you are mind reading, Samuel. Let Bert be Bert.
Yeah, I guess so.
Let Bert be Bert. Be Bert. 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 Be Bert. 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 Be Bert. 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 Be Bert. Bert.
I believe you now understand that mind reading may have closed the door on some opportunities for you.
I suppose. I can't really know either way, but I guess that's the point of all this. Knowing what's real and what's not.
Exactly, Samuel. So tell me, what happened to you and your brother?
You don't know already. I thought we were famous Wild West outlaws. They called us the Handsome Boys, on account of the fact that we were young and good looking. I think we made as close to a living as possible while keeping up a life like that for some 35 years.
This is certainly a deep game, Giggity. Hell yeah, it is. From, you know, talking about existential crisis to the the fallacies of man to what would Jesus think about anal sex? I mean, you know, what can I say? Vampire Therapist. Buy it today on Steam.
They stopped calling us the Handsome Boys eventually. Mostly they just called us those two bitches. Jeb and I married a pair of sisters, even talked about settling down in some kind of fashion. I guess we got greedy though. One last big job, as they say in the pictures. Met this fella in a saloon who'd heard of us. Went by Ernie. He said he'd help us take down the Pioneer Missouri Bank.
Oh
take
no!
$30,000, split 3 ways. That's about $1 million in today's dollars, but that kind of money was unthinkable back when. We got the money all right, but my brother got shot in the head. Dead before he even hit the ground. I didn't know who did it. So in my rage, I killed every soul in that bank. Ernie and I ran off with that dirty money, but weren't nothing the same after that. When she heard the news, my sister-in-law was screaming so loud she scared the coyotes away. My wife left with her that night, and I didn't see either of them ever again. Not sure I wanted to. I had $15,000 and no interest in spending it. Just sat there in a sack. When Ernie invited me to join his gang, I saw no reason not to. I'm pretty sure I signed that devil's contract as soon as I started killing them folks in the bank.
I am sorry, Samuel. That is a truly horrifying story. I can hear the pain in your voice. Your brother was precious to you.
Yeah. He wasn't a good man, Andy. But he kept me safe. Without him, I knew I'd be doomed. I was certain I had no choice but to join the Mystic Bastards. Yeah, I know. Cognitive distortion.
I know you know, Samuel. A new one, but I think you can identify it on your own. What is the cognitive distortion you are displaying now?
I was so sure I was right to join the Mystic Bastards. Ain't nobody could have convinced me otherwise.
Indeed, Samuel. This cognitive distortion is known as being always right. And when you are always right, your choices are limited, even if they lead to doom. We become so convinced that only we have the appropriate perspective, even in a world of infinite possibilities. One would expect immortals to be immune to this distortion after seeing their beliefs challenged over generations. But we are just as susceptible to being always right. Let's try some examples so you can identify when I am always right. I have the experience of ages. My authority cannot be questioned.
Okay, Boomer.
Excuse me.
Okay, Boomer. Oh my god.
Just something I hear the kids say when old mortal folk are acting like they're always right. The folks born after World War II are real good at destroying the world, but they assume age leads to wisdom. It ain't necessarily so.
You are always right about that. Well done, Samuel. With my multi-generational economic expertise, I am confident that market conditions will result in mass layoffs in the next quarter.
Hold on, you can't know that layoffs are...
I did not say that I was certain, just that
Yeah,
modern
okay.
stock markets are run by a cabal of dark cultists, and one can make educated predictions about their behavior.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes, They sacrifice all to the dark god of ever-increasing profit. You should know this, Samuel. Their dark gospel reigns supreme in your land.
So, just if you wanted to know that the developers were slightly left-leaning and anti-capitalist.
Oh, right. I guess I never thought as institutional investment bankers as dark cultists. But you're right. That's exactly what they are.
Yep.
If only they had chosen a more ethical god than unrestrained capitalism. I know that turning another into a vampire inevitably results in resentment.
That sounds like you're always right. I know a lot of us vampires ain't too happy with our lot in life, but we ain't always resentful.
That is correct, Samuel. Of course, we must be careful when choosing whom we turn and when. Choosing to live forever is not a choice casually made.
It ain't usually a choice at all.
But we will endeavor to break that cycle, my friend. We have enough clients already without having more resentful immortals running around. Let us continue. I know for a fact that vampires become misanthropic as they age. I do not need your perspective.
And now hold on, you ain't always right. You thinking we're gonna turn into misanthropes is limiting you from making new vampires. But that's just your thinking.
Very good, my dear Samuel. Caution is warranted when bringing a new soul into the dark, but I must consider perspectives other than my own. I have not had much good fortune with my children of darkness, but I am indeed not the only judge of character.
You got kids, Andy?
I had many dark children before I recognized the gravity inherent in doing so. I only wish more of my brethren could learn what a responsibility it is to begin the unlife of another. I know the internet is a passing fad. I have seen technology come and go, so I can trust my own expertise.
I think you're doing a little always right there, Andy. A lot of folks had unwavering confidence that the fax machine was going to stick around forever, but they weren't right neither.
Truly? I still use my fax machine. It is the preferred mode of communication.
You know what? Fun
vampires
fact.
in Germany.
I don't know whether this is still true, but I remember when I used to work at another place where I used to have to send faxes for people. Fax in the UK, not that common anymore. And this was, what, I don't know, about 5 or 6 years ago. However, faxing in America, if you have a large document, like, for example, tax returns, you could fax them. And a lot of people did fax their tax returns back to America. Or they just use faxes all the time. Like, I don't know what it is about America. I don't know if this is still true. They could have hopefully switched to email. But fuck my life. Fax. Oh my god, that fax machine. Ugh. Doing, okay, 1 or 2 faxes, absolutely fine. Trying to do like a 20-page document. The roller, the feed roller would just kept sort of slipping. It was so old, they would not replace it. It was just like, look, can you not just do scan and send? No, they won't take email, man. They just wanna fax it. You know how much this is gonna cost, right? This is gonna cost a fucking considerable amount of money. That's okay, man. I got a credit card. Have you signed the back of your credit card? No, they tell us not to sign the back of our cards. Sign the fucking back of your cards. Oh, well, I got ID. Yes, but your fucking signature is not on the back of the card. And your photo isn't on the back of the bloody card. So it means if anyone picks it up, they could scribble it because we don't ask for ID when checking the fucking signature. You absolute spoons. Anyway. Sorry, that was... Sorry, I just had a flashback there.
Heck, I guess that just proves no one is always right about technology. I think I get it, boss. If I had found folks to listen to, other than myself, maybe I wouldn't have joined up with Ernie's gang.
I'm sorry, but it's true. Look, if the fucking card tells you to sign the back of it, sign the back of it. If it's not a chip and pin card, or if it is a chip and pin card, but it requires a signature, sign the fucking back of it. Because if you go to a country where they don't check for ID along with your credit card or your debit card, then someone can just sign the back of that and just pass it off as theirs. And they could get quite far until someone actually picks it up. And when the bank goes, oh, well, did you sign the back of it? And they go, well, no, we didn't. Well, that's your fucking fault then, innit? The amount of times I used to have to turn people away is ridiculous. Oh, but I got my ID. I've got another card that's signed. No. That's not the point. You have to sign this card, and I need valid ID. There was another thing as well. So there are age restricted items in the UK, and ones that require at least 3 or 4 official documents, i.e. official things like a driver's license, passport, whatever. And there used to be and I think this was a bunch of, I want to say it was Italian kids, because their sort of identity card is, well, it's a piece of cardboard with a photo stuck onto it, which is, you think in 2024 you kind of fix that, right? But anyway, they wouldn't take this fucking thing with them. They would have a photocopy of it, which obviously, when they were there, when obviously you have to be over 18 to buy alcohol in the UK, and you have to look over 25 to not get ID checked. But they would try and forge these fucking things, and you'd be like, no, we actually need the physical copy of your passport or your ID here. And they're like, oh, but no, we got, or they've got a picture of it on their phone now. That's the kicker. That's the one that always gets me. Oh no, I've got my passport. Where's your passport? Oh, I've got a picture of it on my phone. No, that doesn't work. You actually need the fucking thing there. Get the fucking thing. It's like going to an airport and taking a picture of your ticket thinking that's going to be good enough. Like, I know you can have digital tickets that have like the QR code and everything, but that's completely different. I'm talking about literally just taking like the photo picture of your passport and expecting that to work in a passport, in an airport. That's not going to fucking work. Anyway, sorry. The joys of retail when you have to deal with things.
Perhaps not. You had plenty of reasons for making the choices you made. Reflecting on them is what helps us to grow.
Yeah, I'm a lucky fellow all in all. I did some stuff with those vampires that I was pretty sure erased any humanity I had left. But I was wrong. Them transcendentalists I hold up with were ready to help me no matter how nasty I was. And I know I've done a lot of thinking on my own, but I owe them everything.
I've done a lot of thinking on my own, but I owe them everything. Is that so, Samuel? Can you point out your own distortion there?
It's my old favorite sneaking up on me, disqualifying the positive. I did plenty of work on myself.
That's right, Samuel. And why were the transcendentalists able to help you? We just went over it tonight.
I wasn't assuming they thought I was scum, which would have been mind reading. I'll let them help me.
Excellent, Samuel. Your capacity for self-reflection, and so quickly, is truly inspiring. I almost feel as though my blood is circulating on its own.
Oh, come on, Andy. I'm just a fella.
You have earned a reprieve from disqualifying the positive, my friend. Embrace it. I believe we have had a productive session today. Let us not press matters. This is difficult work, and you are handling it wonderfully. How do you feel?
You know, I feel okay. Somehow it's better than feeling good. What happened is what happened. Some bad stuff happened to me, and I did some bad stuff. And none of it lasts forever. That's the nice thing about having all the time in the world.
Your trials have made you wise indeed, my dear Samuel. Now rest, my friend. You shall soon share your wisdom with your clients. I wish you a good night.
Yeah, I believe it's early coffin time for me tonight. Have a good night, Andy.
You as well, Samuel. Rest in peace.
Night, Charlie. Have a good one, mate. Right, what I'm going to do now...
Samuel, greetings. You look a bit pale. May I offer you something to drink?
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this over here. There we go. Let me just double check. Yep. Okay, we're going to leave it there. And, going to go back to this screen, and then I'm going to try and get the old music back. There we go. Wonderful. Hey, awesome. Woo! Woo! Bloody hell. I'm hot. I'm fucking hot. Oh no. Alright. Well, I'm going in a minute. I'm going in a minute. Give us a chance. Give us a fucking chance. Yeah, so we're going to leave it there for tonight. I think that's a really good point to leave it at. Simply because that was some pretty hardcore therapy session. And we're learning some new things as well. Probably should have stopped it after Medi's section. But I figured... give it another half an hour and also have a rant about passports and why it's important to keep the appropriate ID on you at all times, because you never fucking know. So I will be back tomorrow night. I think I'm going to do an art stream, which is probably a really bad idea. So I don't really know what I'm going to be doing, so I might take some suggestions. So tomorrow I should imagine it's going to be a pretty chill session, just doodling. Maybe I'll take some suggestions. Maybe, I mean, to be honest, I am going to put this out there right now. I am not the best artist in the world. I can do some drawing. I will concede I have some skill, but I am not, say, like Ross Donovan. I am certainly not in the leagues of my friend Deeds. But if you're willing to, want to hang about, I think I'm going to piss about on Gartic Phone, because I think there is like a solo thing that you can do on Gartic Phone. Which I'm happy to do because I quite like pissing about on Gartic Phone. In fact, I think the best picture I did in recent times that I was actually genuinely satisfied with was that carrot picture I did last week. Which, by the way, okay, so the reason why the Gartic Phone VOD isn't around is because I almost doxed myself, so I had to get rid of it. I tried editing it so I could edit that bit out, but unfortunately it didn't quite work out. It just got rid of the entire VOD, which is a real shame because I really enjoyed that. It was a really, really good fun session. However, I do still have all the images and I still have all the pictures. They are safely on Discord or saved onto my PC, so they are still there. But unfortunately, that VOD is now lost to the interwebs. So hopefully, at some point, we can play that again with even more people and have a really good time. But I will just have to make sure not to dox myself. Or accidentally try and dox myself, because, autofill, really useful for some things, not useful when you're playing a game on the internet being viewed to quite a few people, because don't want to dox myself. So yeah, fun times. So yeah, if you're happy, I will be back tomorrow with some doodling. And then if anyone's hanging about, oh no, Megan, what level are you? It might be, and I hate to say this, you might have to go back. Also, what difficulty mode have you got it on? Quick butchers. Quickly to the interwebs. Oh, okay. Shit. How interesting. I don't know if I can actually join your game. No, because it'll have to be the same level, wouldn't I? That is a doozy. Huh. I mean, okay, it might be worth at some point seeing if you can stream it through Discord, and we can have a look at it and see what's occurring. I mean, it could just be like a really shit roll of the dice where the fuckers are just they just get really high in initiative rolls and it just fucking plows over you. But for Explorer, that seems a bit weird. I mean, you should be able to. Would have thought. Or maybe you need a beefier armour. Maybe. Or, and this is always a fun thing, just spam a load of spell scrolls. Yeah, Doom Hippie's got a really good so what is Raging Wolf Helm? Oh, okay. Where'd you get a Raging Wolf Helm? Huh. I am confused, but that's cool. Yeah, it might be worth yeah, see if we can stream it through. Stream it through Discord, maybe. It won't, as in like, it won't actually be streamed on Twitch, but we can just sort of see it on Discord and just see what's what. And be like, fuck you! Fuck you, Moonrise. You suck. To be honest, that was one of the worst fights. That sucked. Fucking hated that fight. Almost as much as I hated that fight the last time I played, where I had to fuck, what was it? Oh, that's right, it was at the wine merchants. Good God, that sucked. That sucked dick. But anyway, I digress. I'm gonna fuck off now, wash my face, get naked and go to bed. Which I'm sure you really wanted to know that I was gonna get naked, but it is quite warm. GG. Thank you, Clash, for coming up. Thank you, Doom Hippie. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Tash. And thank you, Megan, for all coming and joining me for some vampire therapy, which included some really dodgy shit. I will see you tomorrow for some delightful drawing, for some delightful art. This is going to be an absolute clustercuss, I can tell it now. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good evening, folks. Good night. Bye.